Welcome to A Year of War and Peace. I'm your host, Brian E. Denton. A Year of War and Peace is a daily, year-long, chapter-by-chapter reading of and meditation on Leo Tolstoy's epic novel, War and Peace. In these videos and podcasts, you'll be treated to a free reading of one chapter per day of the novel, plus a reflective essay I've written individually tailored to that day's chapter. These readings are offered for free, though if you'd like to support me, you can do so in one of three ways. First, you could purchase my ebook, A Year of War and Peace. It features the entire novel, plus all of my reflective essays, and it's only $2.99 on Amazon.com. You could also become a patron at patreon.com/Brian E. Denton. If you sign up there, you'll receive a sonnet once a month, plus a link to an ebook of my collected sonnets. Finally, if you like, you can make a one-time donation to my PayPal account. The email there is brianedenton@gmail.com. You can also use that email to contact me. I'd be happy to hear from you. Your support is greatly appreciated. Today's reading and reflection is from chapter 333. After Pierre's departure that first evening, when Natasha had said to Princess Mary with a gaily mocking smile, "He looks just as if he had come out of a Russian bath in a short coat and with his hair cropped." Something hidden and unknown to herself, but irrepressible, awoke in Natasha's soul. Everything, her face, walk, look, and voice, was suddenly altered. To her own surprise, a power of life and hope of happiness rose to the surface and demanded satisfaction. From that evening, she seemed to have forgotten all that had happened to her. She no longer complained of her position, did not say a word about the past, and no longer feared to make happy plans for the future. She spoke little of Pierre, but when Princess Mary mentioned him, a long-extinguished light once more kindled in her eyes, and her lips curved with a strange smile. The change that took place in Natasha at first surprised Princess Mary, but when she understood its meaning, it grieved her. "Can she so have loved my brother so little as to be able to forget him so soon?" she thought when she reflected on the change. But when she was with Natasha, she was not vexed with her and did not reproach her. The reawakened power of life that had seized Natasha was so evidently irrepressible and unexpected by her that in her presence Princess Mary felt that she had no right to reproach her even in her heart. Natasha gave herself up so fully and frankly to this new feeling that she did not try to hide the fact that she was no longer sad, but bright and cheerful. When Princess Mary returned to her room after her nocturnal talk with Pierre, Natasha met her on the threshold. "He has spoken? Yes, he has spoken," she repeated, and a joyful yet pathetic expression which seemed to beg forgiveness for her joy settled on Natasha's face. "I wanted to listen at the door, but I knew you would tell me." Understandable and touching as the look with which Natasha gazed at her seemed to Princess Mary, and sorry as she was to see her agitation, these words pained her for a moment. She remembered her brother and his love. "But what's to be done? She can't help it," thought the princess. And with a sad and rather stern look, she told Natasha all that Pierre had said. On hearing that he was going to Petersburg, Natasha was astounded. "To Petersburg?" she repeated, as if unable to understand. But noticing the grieved expression on Princess Mary's face, she guessed the reason of that sadness and suddenly began to cry. "Mary," said she, "tell me what I should do. I'm afraid of being bad. Whatever you tell me, I will do. Tell me." "You love him?" "Yes," whispered Natasha. "Then why are you crying? I'm happy for your sake," said Princess Mary, who because of those tears quite forgave Natasha's joy. "It won't be just yet. Some day. Think what fun it will be when I am his wife and you marry Nicholas." "Natasha, I have asked you not to speak of that. Let us talk about you." They were silent a while. "But why go to Petersburg?" Natasha suddenly asked, and hastily replied to her own question. "But no, he must. Yes, Mary, he must." All right, that concludes my reading of chapter 333, which is the last chapter before the first epilogue. Yes, there is a first epilogue, because in War and Peace, naturally, you got to have two of those bad boys. At any rate, I will now proceed to my reflection on chapter 333. A Year of War and Peace, day 333. Accept and endure. The last time Natasha fell in love, it didn't end well for her or for her beloved. Her passion for Prince Andrew, the beloved, was matched, surpassed even, only by her impatience to consummate said passion. So when Prince Andrew's father wickedly conditioned their marriage upon a 1-year separation period, Natasha's untutored heart, as if to test the Proustian notion that there can be no peace of mind in love, since what one has obtained is never anything but a new starting point for further desires, sought a substitute on which to attach her affections. Unfortunately, that substitute turned out to be Anatoly Kuragin. Natasha's brief affair with that wild man set off a chain of events wherein her heart got more shook than the San Andreas fault, while the Napoleonic Wars took Anatoly's legs and Prince Andrew's life. So, not really the best love story. Thankfully, Natasha has grown very much since that unfortunate series of events. She, like her newly beloved Pierre, has learned at the seat of suffering. Her suffering has taught her, just as it has Pierre, not to pine for those things she has no control over. It counsels, instead, patience. So whereas she rebelled against the fact of Prince Andrew's absence before, she now, with Pierre leaving for Petersburg, recalls her lessons in patience and pauses mindfully to reflect that this is something she must accept and endure. It's a wonderful note on which to end our book and begin our epilogue. Daily meditation. Whatever befalls me, I shall not disturb my mental joy. For having been made unhappy, I shall not accomplish what I wish, and my virtues will decline. Why be unhappy about something if it cannot be remedied? And what is the use of being unhappy about something if it cannot be remedied? Shantideva. All right, that concludes my reading of and reflection on chapter 333. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for listening. Remember that if you'd like to support me, you can do so either by purchasing the ebook Year of War and Peace, becoming a patron at patreon.com, or making a one-time donation to PayPal. The links to all that are down below in the show notes alongside my wish list for Amazon books and movies. If you decide to purchase me a book or a movie, we'll set up a Zoom call to discuss it, and I look forward to doing that. Remember that tomorrow we're going to be reading and reflecting on the first chapter of the first epilogue, chapter 334. I look forward to doing that. Until then, take care of yourselves and others.